Carlo, is that offense is probably never going to be a problem for UCLA this year. This is the best offensive team Mick Cronin's had at UCLA. But if they want to reach the goals that they think they can reach, which is a deep run in the NCAA tournament, contend for a Big Ten title, it's got to be on both sides.
Dent misses the bunny.
Missed a couple of those the other night, too. That one looked like maybe didn't realize he'd be that open.
Looked up and said, wait, there's no arms? We got a foul to start. Life on the offensive end must get easier for everybody with Donovan Dent, but then you add Eric Daly Jr. joining. This is just a complete offense.
Well, one thing we talked a lot about the other night was, and this has always been since Mick Cronin's been here at UCLA, is defense leading to offense. Turning people over, getting out in transition, and making the offense easier for you off of stops and turnovers. Good cut.
Underneath, Cooley finishes with a left-handed layup.
Interestingly enough, Eastern Washington started with a wide-open, uncontested layup on Monday night. Same thing here again tonight for Pepperdine.
Bruins looking to respond. Dent. And Sky Clark. Into traffic, he fades, and banks one in.
Got off to a really good start the other night, and then kind of cooled off from the perimeter. But Dent makes things so much easier for everybody, but in particular Sky Clark, because the defensive scouting report, the #1 item is how do we keep Dent out of the paint? And so that opens up stuff for Sky Clark on the perimeter.
Shot clock under 10 for Pepperdine. Phipps. Cooley. Left it short. And there's a rebound for UCLA. Here they come looking for their first lead. Dent leaves it short again.
And you just wonder, a lot of teams in the non-con come in here, Carlo, and try and shorten the game, go down tempo, use a lot of shot clock. It doesn't look like Pepperdine's going to do that. They got that stop and got out in transition.
Dent sets up the offense. Sky Clark led them in threes made a season ago. Williams lines one up and missed it all.
Early substitution for Mick Cronin. Bilodeau out of the game quick. Brandon Williams getting some early minutes here.
Opportunity for Brandon Williams. As Phipps finds Dozic, and he rattles one through.
Again, that's the biggest concern for UCLA tonight, is letting Pepperdine get started from behind the three-point line. That's not just the guards, that's everybody. Pepperdine's bigs can really fill it up from three-point line.
Williams missed one earlier. He tries again. No, that's Daly, and he connects.
Tough shot, off the bounce, contested. But Daly knocks it in.
Dealing with a knee injury that held him out of the opener. He's good to go today.
And probably not going to go full tonight. Sounds like he's going to be on somewhat of a minutes restriction. We don't know how many minutes, but off to a good start here in the first couple minutes.
If you asked him, he'd probably say there's no minutes restriction.
Right.
Phipps beats the shot clock. And the GCU transfer gives Pepperdine a 7-5 lead.
Again, same thing happened the other night. Eastern Washington came in here, played really hard right from the jump, and kind of settled into the game. And it became a game the whole night.
Sky Clark's open, and he splashes one through.
Really playing with a lot of confidence. And you can't say it enough, Carlo, how much Dent has freed Sky Clark up to be more of an offensive player. Doesn't have to have the ball in his hands, doesn't have to manage the game or run offense, play off the ball and score more.
Dozic left it short. As we welcome you here to Westwood, UCLA leading 8-7.
Welcome us in to leave, Carlo. Been here at UCLA, so It is game 2 and still working out some of the stuff, but if you're going to play for Mick Cronin, you have to be alert and aggressive on the defensive end.
Clark poked away by Cooley, and the Bruins turn it over. So Pepperdine can retake the lead. Who's checked in? He thought about it.
Pepperdine runs a lot of flex action on that baseline, that flex cut, block to block.
Bailey steps in front.
And then you get the pin down guys stretching it all the way out to the three-point line.
Pepperdine's got a second breath on this possession. See all that baseline action there. 7 to shoot for Clark.
That flex action works if you set really good screens and if you take it, and if the spacing is right. But UCLA knows that. UCLA knows that, having watched the film.
Daly's got room to operate. Swings it for Sky Clark. Williams, extra pass.
Good ball movement. Daly's got to light that one.
Tries inside and earns himself a trip to the line.
You go into Booker and he goes opposite, and then the one more to the corner, you have to be down, ready to go, and let that thing go. Daly gets 2 free throws out of it. Let's take a look at Ed Schilling. Second year at Pepperdine. First year was very challenging because of the Palisades fires. Didn't structurally affect Pepperdine, but because of access, PCH, they were forced to go practice elsewhere. Guys were staying in hotels. Just made it for a challenging year. But to Ed Schilling and his staff's credit, made a run in the WCC tournament all the way to the semifinal after a really disappointing regular season. Ed Schilling can coach, and it's only his second year. I think a lot will improve this year because they don't have those exterior challenges. But we'll see. Off to a good start here in Pauley Pavilion tonight.
Daly goes 1 of 2. And Pepperdine a chance to tie or take the lead. Levy catches on Perry and finishes underneath.
Good pass from Clark. That pass looks easier than it is. You can underthrow it, you can overthrow it. That one was right on the money.
Levy, the transfer from Green Bay, and there's Donovan Dent in that UCLA offense. Bilodeau.
I think that combination right there, Carlo, as the season goes on, the Dent, Bilodeau, high pick and roll will become a staple.
Cooley open and he connects.
Cooley's second 3 of the game. The reason I say that is Dent is so hard to keep out of the paint, and Bilodeau can really shoot. So how do you guard that? There's a reason screen roll game's been around for 100 years, because if it's done right with the right personnel, it's impossible to guard.
Bilodeau from the mid-range, and he sticks it.
Bilodeau had a really good year last year. Led the team in scoring, 40% from 3. Again, and I know I've said it a couple times already, I think those numbers will go up because of Donovan Dent running the offense, making it easier for everyone.
Karl Malone watch list for the best power forward in college basketball. One of 20 players is Bilodeau.
Well, the interesting thing about Bilodeau, too, Clark makes another one.
Pepperdine knocking down threes at a high rate here.
The interesting part about Bilodeau, I was starting to say, is he's going back to the 4. You know, he played a lot of 5 last year just because they didn't get enough out of what they thought were going to be their 5 men. So a little different for him. He'll have different matchups this year with Bilodeau, guys who can stay with him out on the perimeter. He knocks down that short mid-range. So it'll be fascinating to watch, especially when we get into conference play. Daly, steal and bucket with the foul.
Already a deflection, now a steal. Daly is turning up the defense for UCLA. Phipps poked it out, but to the wrong guy.
See, Dent, that's what you love about Dent, his decision-making, his unselfishness. He could have taken that thing into the paint and scored himself, but gave it up for an easier look for Bilodeau. 21 points and 9 assists on Monday night. Like if they get that from him, and not even really the 21, it's the 9 assists. Just has a great understanding of that position. I said the other night, he plays like an NBA point guard in the college game with his change of speed, his command of the game. He's never sped up. And so that high ball screen, him and Bilodeau, Booker can make that shot too from behind the line. Don't want him shooting a ton of them, but he can make one.
Seems like there's just too many weapons for a defense to cover UCLA.
Especially when the guy with the ball in his hands, you can't keep him in front of you. It just breaks down your defense. So the guys are open on the perimeter for wide open looks from three.
Pepperdine 3 of 7 from 3 early. And a steal, Sky Clark mucks it up. Bruins looking to add to the lead.
Sky Clark, so good defensively. Can't screen him. Said that the other night. Like, you cannot screen him. You won't get screened. And what does that do? It blows up your entire offensive set.
Clark couldn't get the friendly hop, but a foul on the rebound. And UCLA will take the ball when we return. Bruins by 1.
It's in the Pac-12 and now in the Big Ten last year. He'll get it right. It's just, you know, it's game 2, but he's going to start searching for combinations and guys that want to guard and do play with some desperation on the defensive end.
Lamar Brown hits that jumper. He plays with a lot of desperation on both ends. Cronin loves his efforts, has never have to ask him to work harder. In fact, he was the lone guy, Don, he said, played with effort after the last game.
And that's going to get you more minutes. And if you can get offense going from him as well, his role will increase.
7-0 run for the Bruins, has him up by 3. Clark hiding behind Jamerson. 9 on the shot clock. Brown's open. Offensive rebound, Jamerson. And the recycle.
That's what he's in there for, Jamerson. Good energy, run the court, defensive rim protection, offensive rebounding. Nice play there.
Transfer from USD. Clark can't finish. Perry and Bilodeau collide for the rebound, and the run continues. 9-0 for UCLA. Brown. Out of bounds to UCLA.
Well, Jamerson's long and athletic, and so he's got to be intent on going to the offensive board every time. And you see it there, gets a defender off him and finishes the play.
He led the WCC in total offensive rebounds, and that's just pure hustle.
That's his job, and it's going to be his job here too.
A 9-0 run for the Bruins. Looking to win their 8th straight against Pepperdine. Bilodeau shuffles the feet.
I was just getting ready to say, Carlo, on that last possession, Sky Clark was getting that high ball screen and not really turning the corner. He was flattening it out, and it didn't allow either guy to be in that pick and pop situation. That time, turned the corner, got to the elbow. Bilodeau's wide open. Unfortunately, he traveled. You got to draw defenders into the paint and then kick it back out to shooters. Dent's so good at that.
Pepperdine trying to end the scoring drought. And it continues, but a foul goes on the Bruins. I put that on Trent Perry. Said he put on size this offseason.
You take a look at that, how much contact there really was. Sales job. And I think that one's both. Pretty good sales job by Cooley, but Trent Perry did have both hands on it.
So a fresh 20 for the visitors. Dozic.
See, this is my thing. It's in college basketball now, it's become a trend for guys to back people down, like turn their back to the defender and just try and put them under the basket. How many guys are really good at that? Like, I'd love somebody to chart, not every game, but a chunk of games and see how successful it is when a guy starts to back people down at the college level. Even NBA guys aren't that great at it, all of them. Some are. But just the natural instinct, oh, I got a smaller guy, I mean, let me back him down. But how many times do you actually score when you do that?
Clark pulls up, gets fouled. And it sits over the top.
See, watch this. Yes, he does have an advantage over Sky Clark, a big advantage. But Sky Clark's strong enough to hold his ground. He gets him down into that mid-post area, but look at the shot he gets. A fadeaway contested left shoulder shot, which is a hard shot even without defense. And I'm not picking on Dosic by any chance. I'm just saying in general, we see that so much the last couple of years where get a mismatch, back him down. How successful is that?
And Clark whistle for the foul, his second. And it's now a 10-0 run for this Bruin team.
Because he started to get stopped. But then, let's say UCLA pushes this lead out to even 15, right? Now you can't exhale, and that's the whole point. This is a 40-minute thing. These are habits, defensive habits. We play with the same intensity every game, the same aggressiveness every game.
Cooley. Offensive rebound, Phipps, a 6'2" point guard. Straight jacket in the paint, and UCLA forces a turnover. DeMar Brown.
Good contest.
Here comes Phillips. Major. Couldn't find anything.
Expect UCLA to settle this possession down.
Dent back in the ball game. Dent and Perry out there. Perry twirls off.
Let's say this, UCLA's gotten a lot of good looks from three, just haven't been able to knock them down consistently.
Dent keeps it alive, and a foul. Looks like it's on Cooley.
UCLA now in the bonus for the rest of the half. 8:35 to go.
Maybe an opportunity to get Donovan Dent going. Does have an assist. Still looking for his first field goal.
And missed a couple point blanks early.
One of the reasons he wanted to come here was the opportunity to become a better defender under Mick Cronin.
Yeah, there's a real opportunity for any player, not just Donovan Dent. If you come here, you're going to get better defensively. There's no doubt about that. And I think Donovan Dent, who has aspirations to play in the NBA, at his size, you have to be able to guard and guard well, especially against bigger guards.
Perry with 3 to shoot. Yeah. Booker with a two-handed flush.
Well, Booker becoming more of an inside player here at UCLA. Did a lot of floating around the perimeter at Michigan State. He's been asked to become a real big 5. And that means defending, rebounding, blocking shots.
Perry floats and finishes.
That's the defense leading to offense I was talking about earlier.
15-0 run for the Bruins, who forced.
There you see 15-0 run. Turnovers, missed shots for Pepperdine.
Yeah, last 5 minutes, the Waves have gone scoreless as they were up early in this one. At one point, had a 3-point lead. Where do they go out of the timeout? Cooley's been a good option, and he gets fouled.
Cooley got the switch, Booker to switch on him, got the ball at the elbow, which if you're a good offensive player, they will ISO you at the elbow. Cooley, quick rip through to the basket, gets a foul.
The transfer from Marist, where he started his last 2 seasons there. led the team in points last time out.
He and Clark both sat out last year. Medical red shirts. So Ed Schilling glad to have those two back. Been in the pro, even though they didn't play last year, were in the program, understand their terminology, the way they do things.
Cooley shooting jumps off the page on 47% last year, or 2 years ago at Marist. Second in the conference. The run ends. Bruins looking to inflate the lead.
We saw a lot of Bilodeau on that mid-post area last year. Haven't seen much of it the first game and change here this year. That's what I was talking about earlier with kind of the change of position for him, playing more of the 4 instead of the 5.
Levy drowning in white jerseys. It's tapped out to Cooley.
You know, everything's just more challenged now than the first 5 or 6 minutes. More intensity. Playing with more force, UCLA on the defensive end.
Big deflection there. Bilodeau gets his hands in the area. Mick Cronin, when he looks to see how good his defense is, he looks at deflections. So it's a direct tell of effort.
Pretty much every coach would tell you that.
Cooley fouled again.
Donovan Dent's a really smart player. If he did foul him, looked like the follow. It looked like he had his hand on the ball, but the follow through onto his arm. See that at the end?
A little bit of contact to the shooting sleeve. Maybe 5 straight free throws.
Speaking of fouling, Carlo, that's the other thing we haven't mentioned, that when UCLA is right defensively, they turn people over without stealing it, but they also don't foul. They are a low foul team. When they are engaged defensively, they are getting stops without fouling and putting the other team on the free throw line.
His last 2 trips down to the first free throws of the night for Pepperdine. Done a pretty good job until that timeout. Bruins lead was double digits.
There you go. Bilodeau operated so much last year out of this position right here, that left block.
Perry. Booker the offensive rebound, and he's fouled. And you mentioned it earlier, Bruins are getting great looks from the three-point line.
They really have from behind the three-point line, uncharacteristically not knocking much of them in, but here's Bilodeau on that mid-post, and he saw this a lot last year. Second defender coming, what's the right play? Usually it's opposite. That time the strong side Perry slid over, got a good look at it. Booker cleaned it up, got 2 free throws.
Mick Cronin challenging Booker to have a little bit of different role this season.
Definitely. Trent Perry played well the other night. You know, nobody was happy with the defensive side of it, but Trent Perry in his first game in the second year here at UCLA played well on the offensive end.
11 points. He was the only player off the bench to score in double figures.
Really doing a pretty good job on this flex cut action. They got burned early, but haven't since. Now it's about staying attached to shooters on the perimeter and then rebounding your own defensive board.
Clark pulls the string. Perry battling, and Phipps another offensive rebound. Deep 3.
They let it fly, don't they?
Stosic could not hit. A foul in transition on Cooley.
Well, not a smart foul by Cooley, not understanding that UCLA in the bonus.
He picks up his second. And Donovan Dent has a chance to see the ball go through the rim at the free throw line.
But this is what you like about a veteran player like Donovan Dent, one that's had a tremendous amount of success. A lot of guys would be forcing it by now, trying to get going, and you know, get some points in the box score, but he's managing the game, taking what the defense gives him. And there's going to be nights where he gets 30, and there's going to be nights where he gets 10 and 10 assists.
On the shot clock. Pepperdine trying to get organized. And Perry fouls Cooley, trying to poke it away. That almost spills into the backcourt.
You like the effort by Trent Perry, but not a smart play, understanding the shot clock is going to run out here.
Like he's going into the pool.
Fortunately for UCLA, Pepperdine not in the bonus yet.
The shot clock just gets back to 20.
It's interesting. I expected Pepperdine to play some zone tonight. They've been man-to-man this entire first half.
Cooley with his back to the basket spins one in.
There's that flex cut action I've been talking about. If you don't communicate and you're not staying attached as a defender, you're going to get beat on that cut. UCLA got beat that time.
Dent. Now before the shot. Pepperdine's first basket since the 13-minute mark of this game.
Sideline out of bounds. Can't really see what happened with the communication, but Cooley got loose on that baseline, easy deuce.
Dent back at the charity stripe. You were talking about how easy he makes it for everybody else, and Cronin multiple times has compared Donovan Dent to a great quarterback on the floor.
Yeah, that's exactly what he is. And I think he understands, like everyone here at UCLA, expectations are always high. They're high this year, preseason number 12 in the country. And I think one of 15 teams that has a chance to win a national championship. We've got a long way to go and a lot of games to play before that, but they have the talent. And with Dent running the show, they got a chance.
Where does Pepperdine go offensively with the shot clock at 8? Clark tries to bully his way forward, gets his own rebound.
Job by Booker to contest the vertical without fouling, but then he's got to turn and clean up that miss. Another offensive rebound for Pepperdine.
A handful of them here in this first half. Williams looking for Daly. And Clark gets in front. 9 to shoot for the Bruins on the baseline.
You like the unselfishness by Williams, but he should have shot that one himself. Here's Booker, good verticality, no foul, but then turn and go get it.
Dent into traffic. And he heads back to the free throw line.
When you understand pace and change of speed and direction like Dent does, it's so hard to keep him in front of you, but he also understands how to get to contact, shoots a ton of free throws. For a guy his size, a little bit unusual. But instead of trying tougher shots around the defense, he gets to the body of the defender, so at minimum, he gets 2 free throws. And that new rule that we have in college this year, the continuation, is set up perfectly for him because of his ability to draw fouls.
Jamerson gets Booker. Guy who Donovan Dent led the Mountain West in free throw attempts, was 19th in the nation.
Some guys just have a great feel for that, and he does.
It goes 1 of 2. UCLA back up 8. You approach 4 minutes to play. To elevate everybody on the floor, make it easier to score. Top 15 in points and assists last season with New Mexico, and coming home for the final year of his college career. And defensive 5 seconds.
Here's what's interesting, Carlo. Since the first 5 or 6 minutes, the UCLA defense has elevated. And they've been able to string together stops and kept Pepperdine from scoring for stretches. But they're only up 8. Which to me, if you told me that these scoring droughts that Pepperdine's on, they'd be up more, but they haven't made a field goal in the last almost 4 minutes.
Team that offense seems to come easy, struggling here against Pepperdine, but they've gotten great looks.
They're just not shooting it great from behind the line tonight, 2 of 9.
Dent with 4 to shoot. Booker, foul, finish!
See, another example of Dent getting in the teeth of the defense. Nobody would have said anything if he had shot this shot, because it would have been a good shot, but an easier opportunity for Booker on the and one. That's that vision we were just talking about.
Booker back to the line.
One thing for Pepperdine looking ahead to the second half, if they're going to keep hanging around like they are, they got to stop putting UCLA on the foul line.
Bruins are 11 for 14 from the free throw line.
Yeah, if Pepperdine had been able to guard without fouling, this game would be even closer than it is.
Kozic. And Jamerson with a nice box out.
That was a good block out that time.
UCLA back up double digits. Pocket pass. Williams steps through. And umbrella up top.
That's good offense. It looked like Brandon Williams was going to get some, but good converged by Pepperdine. 3 guys around him at the rim.
Clark looks back door, has its man, and a two-handed finish up top for Cicic.
Let's give Pepperdine some credit. They are moving well without the ball in this offense that they run. So if you're not communicating, they're probably going to score, and they did that time.
Only 9 field goals, but 6 assists on them. Dent lost his footing in the lane.
Again, there was miscommunication on the opposite side. Anytime a guy's that wide open, Jamerson lost vision, was ball watching, and got beat. You know how I know who made the mistake on defense that led to the score? They immediately go to the bench.
There's no guessing.
Nope.
Villanel's open.
Too much time? Maybe.
Bruins now 2 for 10 for a three-point line. It's still up 9. Sky Clark trying to keep Dozic in front of him, whistle for the foul.
Pepperdine now in the bonus as well.
Dozic at the line, he led the team in points in the back half of the season, scored 12 against Gonzaga. Hits the first. Coming up on the halftime show, presented by State Farm, Mike Hall and Sean Morris break down all the action in the Big Ten on opening night of the new season. A lot of good games going on.
A lot of games tonight.
Major hits the hardwood. Booker has now got the smaller Major on.
Go again on the back down. Had the mismatch. We take him down. Do we have a plan? 1-2 dribble spin. Samar Brown there to clean it up.
Free throws 15 and 16 of the half. Brown hits the first. Transfer from University of Missouri, Kansas City. Spent 2 seasons at Phoenix College before then. He led the Kangaroos in steals, points, and rebounds.
He's going to be a factor. He strikes me as one of those players that he's going to have a game or two, especially when we get into Big Ten play, where he gets hot from the perimeter and becomes a major factor for UCLA winning a game.
Nick Cronin raves about his attitude and his approach. Off the hands of Major, UCLA forces another Pepperdine turnover.
You mentioned it earlier, Carlo, the deflections, and Daly gets a deflection, Booker stays after it, and they do get the turnover.
Ball got a little wet in the action. Opportunity here for Xavier Booker, Don, to maybe have a fresh start on his college career.
Yeah, but different, and he's been asked to do different things and more things at his size, and I think that his evolving will continue throughout this season.
Transfer from Michigan State. Little thought about it. Dent starts and stops.
Dent, third one tonight. Just can't get it to go down right in front of the rim.
Bruins probably feel like they should have a lot more than 37 points on the board.
Bucket here would give Pepperdine a big jolt going into halftime.
Phipps could not deliver, and UCLA takes the 9-point lead into the break.
Better intensity defensively from UCLA, but still some mistakes, miscommunication, job of guarding without fouling. Put UCLA on the line 16 times in that first half.
Cooley's been their leading scorer. Levy an offensive rebound. Dragovic could not finish.
Got away with one there. UCLA gave up another offensive rebound.
Booker finishes in the paint.
Nice play. Off of one leg, not an easy shot. Gets it to go in. All you're trying to do with that shot is put it on the front of the rim and let it roll in. Did a good job there.
Dragovic. Too much on that one. Back-to-back misses for the freshman from Serbia.
See Bilodeau let that one fly. Dent in the paint with the spray out to the perimeter. Bilodeau turned it down.
Daly walks into one and puts it down.
Well, not known as a great three-point shooter, but has improved over the offseason. One thing that stood out in practice in the preseason was his ability to make threes. Not even out of action, just kind of a swing. You're not going to guard him. Wide open.
Shot nearly 38% last season. Get some spillage on the floor.
But did most of his work kind of inside the line. Did shoot a high percentage. 38's a good number. Not a lot of volume from three, but they ran a lot of stuff for him at that elbow area, mid post, where he's really good.
Bruins up to their largest lead of the ball game. Levy, Booker with the denial.
That's what's being asked of Xavier Booker, is patrol the paint, protect the rim. That was just an isolation back down. He stayed with it, stood his ground, and then sent that shot back.
Got on top of the ball. Shot clock runs out on Pepperdine. And they turn it over again. Seventh turnover for the Waves. You've yet to score out of the break. Make it 8 here tonight.
I feel like this game's already, we got a long way to go, 18 minutes, but this game's in the danger zone already. Now 16-point lead for UCLA.
Donovan Dent's first field goal.
Pepperdine's got to find a way to score here, stop the bleeding.
Cooley's in double figures. Do they go to him? Here he is.
And Booker.
Erasing shots at the rim.
If they get, look, we haven't seen the best out of UCLA's defense yet this season. It's only been a game and a half. But when it is right, if you got Booker patrolling that front of the rim and he starts sending shots back like that, UCLA's defense becomes elite. They didn't really have that last year. They didn't have a rim protector, athletic, long guy. And Booker can be that guy.
Booker from deep. Rolls one in.
He can do that. He's proven that. He proved it at Michigan State. The problem was he was spending too much time out there, and I think the directive from Mick Cronin now is, look, occasionally if you're out there, we know you can make it, so knock it in, but we don't want you spending a whole lot of time out there.
Luka Vudragovic has shot 4 threes here in the second half. I think he had 1 in the first half. He's hit 1 of them.
Again, Booker. I'm telling you, Carlo, if he gets confident on the defensive end and starts really going after shots, changes how good UCLA is defensively.
Bilodeau is fouled.
You know, it sounds funny to say, but you know, getting confident blocking shots, like once you start blocking them, you start getting like greedy. You want to start blocking more, and hopefully that happens for Booker and UCLA, where he understands just how long and athletic he is, and he can do that. So keep doing it more.
One more coming for Bilodeau. As UCLA tries to add to the 16-point lead, looking to start 2-0. Once an Oregon State transfer, Bilodeau in his second season with UCLA goes 1 of 2.
Had a couple good years at Oregon State, especially his sophomore year. Made a big jump from freshman to sophomore. Came here, and it translated from Oregon State here to UCLA.
Chichi with the recycle.
Two guys went to try and get the shot initially, left the front of the rim wide open for the follow.
Daly cards And poked away by Aaron Clark.
Good defensive play.
Phipps sets up and delivers the three.
Good answer here by Pepperdine to cut it back to 12. Could have gotten away from him.
Perry pump fakes, and he's hacked in the act.
Portal, all that stuff. For Sky Clark to operate the way he did last year, just a tremendous, tremendous story.
He's talked about dedicating this season to his late father. And a neat piece in there, Don, is Eric Daly's dad and Sky Clark's dad both grew up in Florida together. And so Eric Daly's father has kind of become a mentor for Sky Clark through these tough times.
Yep. This speaks to the character of Sky Clark, because he could have been away from the team last year. He could have missed practices, missed games, whatever, but he managed it all. This speaks to what a terrific young guy he is.
He brings it forward for the Bruins. They're going to add to their 13-point lead. Villanelle.
Tough one. Not enough room, left it short.
Pepperdine's loved the three-point line to start the second half.
Unfortunately for Pepperdine, none of them are going in.
Hasn't loved it back. Cooley's foul on the baseline. Booker continues his block party after the foul.
Still, even with the difficulty of Pepperdine offensively here to start the second half, and give UCLA's defense credit, still only a 13-point lead.
Bilodeau deflects it. Maybe it was Booker.
And one of the new rules is introduction of the coaches challenge in college basketball this year, and I'm 2.5 games in here, still haven't seen a coaches challenge. Although I did get tricked the other night at Oregon. Aaron Gadot, the Hawaii head coach, after a play, did the old twirly bird to signal a coach's challenge, but he was just asking the official if he could challenge it. And I said on the air that he's going to challenge it. He couldn't challenge it because it was on the shot. There's only 3 ways you can challenge it: restricted area, goaltending, and out of bounds.
Well, there's no official signal for a challenge.
No, but a lot, that's just the universal, right? You see the NBA guys do it, the finger twirly.
Jamar Brown fouled underneath by Stefan Cicic. You get a look at the areas in which coaches can use that challenge. You only get the second if you win the first. You've got to be sure.
And it says in the restricted area until last 2 minutes of game, because the officials can review that. Officials can no longer review out of bounds plays in the last 2 minutes.
Bilodeau is perfect for the mid-range. We're trying to just speed the game up a little bit. Clark finds the cutting Cooley. A lot of his points.
Yeah, he's good at that, isn't he? Moving without it, cutting behind the defense. That's the second or third time tonight Cooley's gotten loose down there on the baseline.
Got a game-high 14 points. Seven on the shot clock. Sky Clark steps back for 3. Bullseye!
You could just tell At least on that story we just told, he's playing with much more freedom this year and joy. You can just tell that he doesn't have the weight of the world on his shoulders, and understandably so last year.
Top set for Phipps when he finishes through traffic. Actually, Bilodeau's all right, took a stumble. ECU transfer Phipps, who probably recruited by Schilling.
That was weird. It looked like the play was over and Bilodeau hit the deck. Must have landed on someone's foot. Like right there. Hopefully nothing serious.
See if Donovan Dent can get some shots to fall here, Don.
Yeah, but again, Carlo, that's the beauty of him. He's such a confident player. If he only finishes with whatever he's got right now, it's fine as long as UCLA wins, because there is going to be times, and I said this earlier, where he may have to get 30 in a game for them to win. But if you're really truly about the team, which Dent is, he doesn't care that he hasn't scored a lot tonight, I guarantee it.
Jamerson, an offensive foul.
The back end was an offensive foul by Jamerson. The question is how much contact before he lowered his shoulder. Was there a foul before? Doesn't really look like it. Just trying to clear space to get up and dunk that. Game's just never really gotten into much rhythm, Carlo.
No.
A lot of stop and start.
UCLA had the 15-0 run in the first quarter to create that initial separation, but we've kind of played it in between 14 and 8 points ever since.
Yeah. But just no flow either, no rhythm to it.
And Sky Clark earns himself a trip to the line. So here's Aaron Clark.
The last several possessions for Pepperdine has been a lot of isolation. And so this is where that principle that UCLA has of guarding without fouling, they've always done a good job under Mick Cronin. Can you keep your guy in front and contest without putting him on the foul line?
Monday, see the Bruins in action live on Big Ten Plus when they host West Georgia. Download the Big Ten Plus app today. It's always game on. Another opportunity for Mick Cronin and this UCLA team.
Yeah, next week they have West Georgia Monday. Then they got Arizona down the road at Intuit Dome in Inglewood. Arizona got a monster win opening night over defending champs Florida. That should be a good one next Friday.
Dent and one. Who's he rooting for?
Great question. I don't think he'd tell you.
I'd say a good game. Bruins bump up the lead to 15. UCLA defense has forced Pepperdine to shoot just 35% here in the second half. Phipps hangs.
So you mentioned the numbers, Carlo, and yes, the numbers tell the story that UCLA's defense is better, but I can just tell by the body language, the intensity, you know, the attention to detail, the physicality. And so this is what it's supposed to look like, and when it looks the way it's supposed to look, usually the box score tells that story. And the scoreboard.
Dent attacks, turns and fires, and puts it in.
He's so under control, never sped up. That time took the big down. You thought he was going to force something up through his body, but turns, goes the old Nowitzki off the back leg and knocks it in.
Fourth Bruin in double figures. He's got 11.
A lot of younger guards would force this, try to make some, but he goes up to the step back off of one leg. Not an easy shot, but he made it look easy.
And an offensive foul goes on Cicic. UCLA a couple shots from really pulling ahead here.
17 with 10:48 to go.
Perry's got space. Jamerson on a trampoline comes up with a rebound. And then is fouled coming down.
He really goes to the offensive board, doesn't he?
My
That's his job. That's why they brought him in here. They needed more size. They needed more athleticism, and he brings that.
And he's not worried about landing.
Well, in like, they're not going to run stuff for him offensively, but he can manufacture his own offense by running the floor hard and getting to the offensive board. Again.
Approaching the halfway point of the second half. Pepperdine fading here as the Bruins continue to tighten up their defense. 10 to shoot. Phipps. Foul underneath. Like Eric Haley Jr. picks up.
Tighter whistle tonight. First couple of games wasn't this tight. UCLA's got to, and Pepperdine got to adjust to that. And that's a foul. Sometimes it's called, sometimes it's not, but it is a foul.
Space open up, and a finish on the left block for Radovanovic. Somebody Ed Schilling is really high on, the freshman from Serbia. What a find from Dent, and Bilodeau on a platter.
It's because of the patience of Dent. There's never anything forced. There's never anything rushed. A lot of guards get that deeper, anxious to get it out of there. He waits for the play to develop, gets Bilodeau for an easy dunk.
Tips on Bilodeau, leaves it for Cooley. Over a double team.
Good individual defense by Clark to get him to take the fade away.
Bilodeau could not hang on. A shifty move from Dent. Booker, fourth block.
Booker's fourth block tonight. Nick Cronin will take that every night.
And Donovan Dent to shoot two.
I'm telling you what, Carlo, if I was on this UCLA team, I wouldn't stop moving, playing with Donovan Dent, because if you do, this is what's going to happen.
I don't know how he sees that. And you talked about it, Don. It starts with him getting into the defense.
Just so under control. There's a lot of guys that burst and get by that initial defender, but then are a little out of control, don't really get to 2 feet, and make mistakes. This game is very slow for Donovan Dent.
Local product, went to Centennial High School. He's on the same team with Jared McCain, Boswell. They won a state championship. 3 years at New Mexico and now here with UCLA. Dozic. Hoists the three and rolls it in.
They are doing just enough for UCLA not to put them away. 8:15 to go, back to 15.
Perry steps around Cooley and Perry with a right-handed finish.
Again, but Dent entering the paint, breaking the defense down, kicking it out. That opens up driving lanes. Perry straight line drive to the rim.
Aaron Clark with a foul. One time in his 2 seasons at Michigan State. This is his second game playing more than 20.
I'm telling you, if this shot blocking thing and changing shots and patrolling the paint, that changes things immensely for UCLA. If he can become, he doesn't have to be dominant defensively, but be disruptive to the other team's offense, look out for UCLA.
Aaron Clark tallies 2. And it's back to a 15-point game. Bruins just trying to slam the door here. See if they can go on another 15-0 run like they did in the first half. Perry, scoop layup with the right hand.
And that'll open up his perimeter game. That's 2 times here in the last few possessions where he's gotten all the way to the rim.
It's been impressive through a game and a half. 11 points opening night. Aaron Clark with 7 to shoot. Left it short.
Good defense, Galito. Good cut. Booker's pretty good down there. They don't throw it to him a lot down on that block, but when he gets it, he takes his time, he surveys the floor, and usually makes the right play.
Bruins have their largest lead, and Pepperdine wants to talk things over. Look at that list: Purdue, Nebraska, Penn State, always a great wrestling school.
We've been talking a lot about Donovan Dent here and his impact at UCLA in the first couple games. How about Matt Painter having Braden Smith again this year?
I mentioned earlier that Dent's one of 6 returning All-Americans. Matt Painter's got 2 of them in Braden Smith and Trey Kaufman-Renn.
But the point guard position in college basketball is so important. If you have a really good one, you got a chance.
Booker wants another.
Seen much of that flex action out of Pepperdine in the second half like we saw in the first. More like 5 out.
Cooley from the corner, and he connects. 17 for Cooley.
Moves well without it. Is that his 3rd 3 tonight?
The way he cuts, he'd play well with Donovan Dent.
I think most people would play well with Donovan Dent.
Perry.
I said this on Monday, Carlo. Trent Perry showed flashes last year, but he was a freshman, made mistakes. wasn't given a huge opportunity, but he is so much more confident this year. We saw it Monday, and it's continuing here tonight on the offensive end. Perry's just got to understand that just play basketball. Don't worry about makes and misses. And when you stop thinking is when it starts going in.
Mick Cronin described his development to Jaime Jaquez like, and he didn't say he's not going to be Jaime, but he's going to improve every single year.
If you're willing to accept the process that, look, when you're a McDonald's All-American, and this isn't just Trent, this is every McDonald's All-American, you think that like you're one and done and that you're only going to be in college for a year or two. And there are some examples of that, but not everyone's an example of that. And I think if you're patient, you continue to work, you start to understand your role, and you get confident, then maybe after 3 or 4 years. Jaquez he wasn't a starter his freshman year, but he continued to get better and better. And by his senior year, he ended up being the 18th pick in the draft.
And it speaks to Cronin and the staff he's put together, their ability to develop players.
That too. Ain't so bad to be in college basketball these days, by the way. With NIL.
Here's that zone you were talking about earlier. Pepperdine gets a stop out of it. Aaron Clark. Villano with the rear view contest. And Sky Clark is fouled in transition.
Free throws for Clark.
Sky Clark with a baggier shorts than everybody else out there. He said that kind of comes from his parents. Always just telling him to express himself.
Yeah, those are old school. Those are like Fab Five length shorts.
He definitely stands out.
Are we really saying Fab Five is old school? That's how old I am.
Clark 1 of 2. Three off the mark from Dozic. Ricochet lands in the lap of Pepperdine. Under 4 to play. We're in game 2 of the regular season for UCLA.
Well, regardless of the outcome, and I think it's going to be hard for Pepperdine to come all the way back at this point. Clark knocks down the 3, but Ed Schilling's got to be proud of his group to come in here. It's not easy to come into Pauley Pavilion, and they've battled them most of the night. Still only a 14-point lead.
Yeah, he spoke earlier how this is like a measuring stick game for them. We're going to figure out what we're good at, what we're bad at.
Yeah, this is their only game against a Power 4 school.
Aaron Clark has had a nice night. The steal and the score. Clark was one of those guys who missed all of last season with an injury. And Mick Cronin wants to talk things over with his group.
Women's volleyball, women's basketball, all those things, having this new facility is a big deal for this Pepperdine program, for recruiting, for a lot of things. So exciting for Pepperdine to be opening that new build. They'll start playing there next year.
Final run at Firestone Fieldhouse. Perry. A rebound out to Aaron Clark, who's got the last 7 for the Waves. A 3 here kind of gets interesting.
Yeah, just going to say that. You get it under 10, still enough time.
9 to shoot. Dozic. In and out.
You can see UCLA use most of the shot clock now to close this thing out.
Booker. An exclamation point.
Telling you, an up and down couple years at Michigan State. We're only in game 2, and he looks like a different guy to me. Playing with more force, active on the defensive end. Always been able to score, but getting more of an opportunity to score this year at UCLA.
Give him 15 on the night. As he puts the UCLA lead at 15. 2 minutes left.
Small sample size, only 2 games in, but he's going to be UCLA's leading scorer heading into the next game.
Yeah. Finished with 14 in game 1. Eight to shoot. Perry tries to stay in front, and Aaron Clark flips it in. 9 in a row now for Aaron Clark. He's got 18.
Another valuable luxury for Mick Cronin is having Donovan Dent closing out games too.
Cronin talked about his strategy now has become getting the most experienced team he can. You get a look at what this experience will face next. They'll see West Georgia on Monday, and Don, you mentioned it, that big game against Arizona.
Then in December, they have Gonzaga up in Seattle. Not at the Kennel, but in Seattle at Climate Pledge Arena. The old Key Arena in Seattle where the Supersonics used to play.
Perry trying to track down the rebound. Butker!
Telling you, man. That's the best news of the entire night. However Mick Cronin feels about how his team played, I think he's a little more encouraged after Monday night, but Booker is the biggest deal to me in his defensive presence.
5 blocks, and he's altered many shots. Phipps with Bilodeau hunting him down. Lays it up and in. With Donovan Dent on his way to 2-0 in his UCLA career. The Bruins.
I think Carlos still not where Mick Cronin wants this UCLA defense to be, but better than Monday night. And I think Booker is very encouraging, his activity on the defensive end. But give Pepperdine